kind of.
Ragnarock. That could have gone a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Hey, you made it.
Starting late.
That's no worries. Yeah, grab it. There's chairs back there too. Feel free to
Thanks, appreciate it.
grab a seat. Here are the late kids, everybody.
Yeah.
Can't sit here.
Cool. All right. So we're just starting. To catch you guys up, we're gonna play through a song.
Right on.
All right. No click either, so hopefully this song's heavy.
This is Ragnarock. The real Periphery.
With those breaks in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Any questions about that song in particular?
How do you do that?
Whenever I play that song at clinics, like it's all crazy and busy in the beginning, and then it goes to like the slow section, and everybody in the room is just like, oh, I can play that when I started playing drums. You know, it's like, here's this really complicated song with the easiest drum part ever.
That's true. There are some pretty complicated sections, at least guitar-wise, and I know drum-wise too. The most challenging part for me was learning the song and getting it down tight live was this. Let me get the right song.
Little stop times and everything.
It was this part. And it has to do, so it's in 4, right? But it has to do with the oddly placed accents over it. And the technique also adds to the complexity of the part too. It's a technique that I learned it from John Brown for Monuments. You guys know that band Monuments? Yeah, so he does this thing, I don't know if he probably didn't start the technique or anything like that, but I learned it from him years ago. So he'll pick with the left hand muted over the strings, and once he picks, he'll slap back with his 3 fingers, and he'll pick again. So you get a pattern of 3. You get a 3-note group. So 1, 2. And you can repeat it. And that's basically what that section is. It's just repeated over and over again. Again, oddly placed accents, but that's the only technique you're using, so there's no notes actually being played. You're just constantly. And this is not the tone we use live. We use a variation of this with considerably less gain on it.
Yeah.
So you can hear a little bit of those notes ringing out just now. Live, it's almost a clean tone that we're using. We call it our super tight rhythm patch. But yeah, it's a pretty fun part to play, but it's a challenge to get it tight live, and we have 3 guitarists doing it, so.
Yeah, you all have to understand the timing of those hits too, which is always fun. And like, I get asked about this part a lot too, like this section. Like, how do you count that section? What's the polymeter going on, or polyrhythm? And like, it's funny because it's just in 4. And the thing that I get asked about with that section is like, you know, what's with those accents? Because if you think about the accents by themselves, if I just played them randomly without any variation on the drums or any specific placement, it would just be like with your guitar. Sounds like I'm just like a 2-year-old picking up a drumstick and tapping on stuff, right? But there's actually a very clear pulse that's going on behind that, and even when you were playing it there, it's like if you don't catch it right away, it's like it just sounds like a bunch of mutter just everywhere. But when you put something behind it, and it's funny because like from a drumming perspective, you could accent that a bunch of different ways. We could do like a march, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And now, is there a way for you to play that? Strumming all of the 30-second notes that are going on, so basically accenting the actual parts and filling in those spaces around it with what's actually there. And before we do it, let me explain. So that part is based around a backbeat groove. It doesn't seem like it, but it is. How many people know the term backbeat? Know what that is? Okay, for those that aren't familiar with that term, it's simply the place in a song where you usually bob your head, and it happens to usually fall where the snare drum falls in the groove. So when we count a groove, 1, 2, 3, 4, that 2 and 4, this thing that we hear, is the backbeat of the groove. That's where we feel the pulse. That's where like you would bob your head or dance or whatever. So in that section with all those crazy accents, there's something that's happening through all that. So I'm gonna keep time, play just the real choppy accents, and the only thing I'm gonna hit is the backbeat. This is what actually you should be feeling and paying attention to when you hear this section. So 1, 2, 1, 2, Yeah, exactly. So even without some of those other notes in there to fill it in, it's really specific on like hearing those accents around the backbeat, right? And it's funny, on the drums there's all these extra notes that I play that throw in like sort of, you know, little, I don't know, things that'll mess you up, I guess, because what I'm doing is when you play a backbeat in a song, typically the backbeat is also the loudest thing in the mix. So you feel that snare drum, even in between, even if I hit my bass drum as hard as I could here, that's still louder, no matter what. So this is the loudest thing in the mix. When I play an accent that's not the backbeat, that is as loud as that, it tends to throw people off because you're used to hearing that loud hit. So when I play the groove by itself, there's some of those accents in there that make it kind of feel choppy. If I took those out and just sort of accented the backbeat around those ghost notes, it would sound like this. And when you do it like that, it's really a lot easier to hear where the groove is. But still, because it's so choppy and there's that open space, it's hard to tell. So the way that I would dissect this part, and for the drummers out here, or even guitar players, because it's the same rhythm, the way you would break it down is tap along with it and fill in those spaces with the same rate that's being played. So if the fastest thing you hear is like that, then that's usually the fastest rate that's being played. So